Today we want to talk about the different types of sexual addiction. This comes from Patrick Carnes' book, Don't Call It Love.
In his book, Carnes talks about 10 different kinds of sexual addiction, but we're just going to go through a few of those today. The first type of sex addict that Patrick Carnes talks about is the voyeuristic sex addict.
Usually when we think about voyeurism, we think about somebody looking in somebody else's window, that kind of thing. But actually, in the context of what he's talking about, voyeurism is you looking at other people that you don't know, that you're not trying to personally connect with because you want to objectify them.
Another form of sexual addiction that Carnes talks about is exhibitionism. And we want to make it clear that we're not trying to shame people with this one. We're talking about it in terms of sexual addiction. This is a person who tries to get sexual attention by exposing themselves in certain ways so that other people look at them, but they have no intention of connecting with other people or going any further. This can be super tight clothing, very revealing clothing, and again, we're not trying to shame someone. What we're trying to say is this person has a sexual addiction and they're using this style to grab attention.
Seductive role sex is another form of sexual addiction, and this is really about the lack of connection.
So this person really might keep a primary relationship and have a bunch of flirtations in the wings, or they might have several relationships going at once. But the point is to avoid abandonment by always having somebody there.
Intrusive sex is another form of sexual addiction, and this is focused on touching people inappropriately without their permission. It also could be making an obscene phone call. Again, you're intruding from a sexual perspective with your own desires.
This person is really perverting the touching dimension of normal courtship. So instead of risking possible rejection by approaching someone appropriately, they're trying to go into a situation in which they can control the touch and they are actually intruding upon somebody else's boundaries. This person would have difficulty in relationships, and they also have difficulty connecting to other people in an intimate way.
Many sex addicts fall into the next category, which is fantasy sex.
Remember, we're talking about fantasy in terms of sexual addictions. Fantasy is normal for people, so we're not trying to say that. This person is trying to avoid intimacy because they're afraid of it. They're afraid of rejection. And so they're retreating into their head instead of giving themselves to their partner as a way to control the interaction for fear of rejection.
Paying for sex is another form of sexual addiction. This includes massage parlors, webcam sex, also can include prostitution, and of course, going to strip clubs.
This person is also afraid of true intimacy. And so in order to be able to control the interaction and still have their sexual needs met, they pay for sex. They may actually do this even though they're in a committed relationship. They may go outside that committed relationship and pay for sex because they can control the interaction better and they don't have to risk rejection. The final type of sex addiction that we're going to talk about today is anonymous sex. And this is having sex with people that you don't know in order to increase the buzz that you get from the sexual interaction because there's fear involved with somebody that you don't know. Typically, this would be somebody who has sex with people that they don't know in very high numbers.
If you're interested in learning more about the 10 types of sexual addiction that Carnes talks about, just check out his book, Don't Call It Love. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below.
Or head over to becomingwellinstitute.com to learn more about trauma, addiction, intimacy avoidance, and other related topics, take a free assessment, or set up a consult with one of our trained professionals.
Let us help you keep your journey towards becoming well going.